There we go. Okay, we're up to a new parak, the last parak in Masechta Yoma. Until now, halacha l'maisa, I can't tell you we learned anything. Halacha l'maisa, think about it. You learned all about kosher days. There's something that we yearn for, but has not been done for thousands of years. But now, Yom Kippur, the halachas Yom Kippur is in this last parak. Okay, so as the derech hakdama, it says in the Torah 5 times in the lashon of Ino. It says in Tezayin, this should be a gazetz for you on the 7th month, the 10th of the month. Tanu es nafshay seichem, lashon of Ino. You should be ma'ani and nefesh. Pasuk lamed aleph, Shabbos Shabbosni hilachem, v'yinisim es nafshay seichem chukas olam. And then if you go to Parshas Emor, in Parshas Emor again, you have 3 times it says the lashon of Ino. Okay, so 5 times in total. These 5 times in total, we're going to go ahead and use to learn out 5 halachas. The issur of achila, the issur of sicha, the issur of achitza, the issur of nilsa sandal, and the issur of tashmish amita. That in other words, this is the source that these are the isurim that are there. Whether they're all equal, they're not. The only chayiv karis your chayiv is achila shtia. You're not chayiv karis for what? For achitza, if you wash it on Yom Kippur. You're not sicha, you're not chayiv if you anoint yourself on Yom Kippur. But the other two, those two, achila shtia, chayiv karis for. Says the Mishnah, Yom Kippurim, asa be'achila, u'b'shtia, it's asa to eat, it's asa to drink, u'b'rechitza, it's asa to wash, u'b'sicha, and it's asa to go ahead and anoint yourself with oil. U'b'nilas has sandal, it's asa to wear shoes, u'b'tashim shamita, it's asa to have marital relations. V'hamelech v'hakala yechatzu es pneim. However, the melech and the kala, they can wash their face. A melech is, the pasuk says, melech b'yofi of techzene necha, you show his view a king in his beauty, and a kala the first 30 days, she should go ahead and be l'chaves baila, she should look clean and pretty, so therefore she's allowed. This lends itself, fellas, to maybe the issa of achilu shtia is not the raisa, because if it is, mehechet teisa, you can go ahead and give a heta. Right? If it's the raisa, how can you go ahead and say, oh, it's a din Torah, but melech you can wash? You can't do that. If it's the rabbanon, we can limit it and say, well, guess what? We have a waiver. So this is a rush. This is the chi of karis, but still, if it's an issa,
so you could give a hector. It's easy doing something.
It's a lav is a lav. You can't just override a lav, Avrami. You can't just override a lav. So again, this is a rush. This is raid. This is raid. It's a rush. This is raid. This is brought down. This is kenzai yes, kenzai not. Maybe the issur of chitz is the whole body, and here you're just washing the face. So taket's a din deraisa, and the heta over here is only to wash your face. That's why that's a way to work around that. It could be deraisa and still allow them to do it. But again, this is the raid that's on the sugya. But I'm not going to get into it, so I think I just drop it on you. Okay.
Would it be a halacha we've seen that kala and melech?
No. It might be a lacha mashma sinai that there's a din rechitza, but you wouldn't have a waiver for 2. You don't have a lacha mashma sinai, just a waiver for 2. Okay, so very good, very good. Now, v'achaya, and a woman who just gave birth, yoledes tinel as a sandal, she can go ahead and wear shoes because the cold is very, very difficult for her. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer. These are the words of Rebbe Eliezer. V'chachamim Oisrin. Chacham said it's also. But now, what exactly? If they're going on, if they were just going on the last 2 dinim of all the dinim, right? That's a shiloh also. Now, in shiurim, be aware. You should be aware. There's a mishnah, the first mishnah in the 3rd parak of Makis, right? Right. What are the shiurim of the Torah? So we know for achila, it's a kazayis. It's kazayis, the size of an olive. There's an opinion of Shimon, afilu kolshu, even a little bit, right? Even a little bit. Even the whole reason for shiurim is for karbonis, but to be over the issa, afilu a kernel, he says there. By Yom Kippur, it's different. Yom Kippur, it's not enough to eat. It has to go ahead and be meshav das. It has to go ahead and restore your brios, your health. And for that, it's the share of a kaiseves. Kaiseves is a date, and it's larger. It's the date with the volume of its pit. So it's large. Usually dates are pitted, but the date, the share over here is the share of kaiseves. It's a larger amount. So it says the Mishnah, If someone eats a koseves agasa, a gesunte date, a größer date, kamaya, like it ukarginasa, and like it's gyrin, like it's seed, then what? You be chayiv. But shoisi moli lugmav, and the shear is not a revius. The shear is moli lugmav, cheekful. You be chayiv. That would be that's the shear of the isser of achila and shtia that carries with the chi of kares. Kol oichlim mitzdarfin l'koseves. All foods can combine to a koseves, because that's the common shear. V'chol mashkin mitzdarfin l'moli lugmav, and all mashkin can be mitzdarf to the shear of a cheekful. However, oichel b'shoisa ain't mitzdarfin, because the achila is one type of shear of koseves, and shtia is moli lugmav, so it's two different shiurim. They would not be mitzdarf. But today we're going to spend that time regarding this issa. Right? Okay, now, let's say if I would tell you, give me a chi of kares, guys. What's a chi of kares? Chatas chaylev, right? Eat chaylev v'chai of kares, right? So what do you say? You say ha'echel chaylev. You say asur or chayev. What would the lashon be? You eat chaylev. Are you what? It's asur to eat chaylev, or you chayev if you eat chaylev? Chayev, right? Chayev. Asur is a much more weaker term. Chayev means boom, right? What does it say in the Mishnah? Yom Kippurim, asa be'achila u'b'shtia. Good. It says the word asa, einish karasu. It should say ha'oichel u'shoisa b'yom kippur chayev. Right? That's what it should say. Not asa, a little lenient term. Don't say a lenient term. You should go ahead and say ha'oichel achila v'shoisa b'yom kippur chayev. It's chayev kares. So to this kasha, guys, we're going to have two terutzim. Amrav Eloi v'tim Rav Yirmiyah le'nitzcha elo lechatzi shir. Pirish. In order to mechayev kares, you need an amount. The usual amount is a kazayis. Over here, it happens to be a kaseves. Until you eat that amount, you're not going to be chayev. Good. Can you eat a chatzi shir, half of a kazayis of chaylev? Or half of a food, can you or can't you? Is it mutter or is it asa? It's good. It's machlokes. Very good. It's a machlokes.
Can learn something all these years.
It's a machlokes. It's a very guys. This is from the most famous machlokes in the Shas. This is again. I know you're saying if it's so famous, I don't know it. You'll know it now. You'll know it, right? Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, whether chatzi shir is asa or mutter. Rabbi Yochanan says chachi shir is asa, and Revelation says it's mutter, but it's asa midrabanan. It's mutter, mutter b'daraisa, but it's asa midrabanan. Right? The svara being, he's going to bring a pasuk, but he also brings a svara that it says chazi litztarufe, as we're going to see soon. But as the gay pshat in the Mishnah, here's pshat in the Mishnah. When it said Yom Kippur asa b'achila v'shtia, it didn't mean the amount that would go ahead and give you kares. It's asa to eat a chatzi share on Yom Kippur. Then it passed to use the lashon of asa because there is no chi of kares. Yeah. So Yom Kippur, what's asa on Yom Kippur? Chatzi share is asa on Yom Kippur. Now that's very good according to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Rish Lakish. Says the Gemara. Chatzi share asa min haTorah. You have pshat in the Mishnah. Lamadi yama chatzi share mutter min haTorah. According to the, what are you going to say? According to the Tanakh, the Mandiyom who says that it's mutter. The Idmar. Here's the machlokes. Chatzi shir. Rabbi Yochanan Amar asim min haTorah. Rabbi Yochanan says it's asim min haTorah. Rish Lakish Amar mutter min haTorah. Rish Lakish says it's mutter. So Hanich Rabbi Yochanan, that Mishnah means Yom Kippur asa. You have an issur of chatzi shir. El Rish Lakish mayik lemeimar. Rish Lakish, what are you going to say? Rish Lakish, what are you going to say? Rish Lakish says mutter. The chatzi shir is mutter. So what are you going to say? According to him, what are you going to say? And for the Gemara, moide Rish Lakish shasim midrabanan. Rish Lakish is moide that it's what? It's asa midrabanan. So let's go back to the Mishnah now. For those of us just joined, we're in Masechta Yoma. We're in the 8th parak in Masechta Yoma, and we're in the tractate, Babylonian tractate. And we're 5 lines from the bottom, and we're going back to explain the Mishnah. Yom Kippurim, asa b'achil v'shtia. If you eat chatzi shir according to Rabbi Yochanan, it's asa midaraisa. And if according to Reish Lakish, it's asim d'Rabbanan. That's pshat in the Mishnah, according to both. Good. Now, in order to understand the next piece of Gemara, you need a little hakdama. We know that a person is not supposed to make shvuos because you may not keep them. If there's certain shvuah that you make, you don't keep. You're chayiv to bring what is a carbon chatas. It's called an oil of yori, depending on your financial status, right? A rich guy is going to bring sheep. Poor guy is going to bring birds. Really poor is going to bring flour. Yeah, we know this, right? What's the classic shvuah that's described in Vayikra Dalid, Vayikra Hey, is shvuah's bitoy. You make a shvuah that you'll eat, you don't eat. Make a shvuah that you won't eat, you do eat. Make a shvuah that you ate, you didn't eat. Make a shvuah that you didn't eat, you did eat. Those are shvuah's bitoy. And if you open that shvuah, you're going to go ahead and be chayiv. What about chatzi shir on the shvuah? Should be chayiv a carbon or not? Okay, let's see the Gemara. If you're telling me like Reish Lakish that it's only the Rabbanon, if you're telling me like Reish Lakish that it's only the Rabbanon, yeah, you should not be mechayiv a carbon shvuah. I have two Avram Rosenzweigs on the screen. Yes, okay. Anyway, so you shouldn't be chayiv a shvuah. Alamid Tanan, we're on Amid Beis, 4 lines from the bottom. Ayin Gimel Amid Beis. Alamid Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, shvuah shloyachel, if you make a shvuah that you won't eat, shloyach that you didn't eat, v'achal nevelis u'treifis, and you ate nevelis and treifis, shkotzim u'ramashim, you ate things that are creepy and things that are low to the ground, chayiv. You be chayiv. Reb Shimon Paita. Now, v'avina bo amay chayiv v'yachayiv mushba v'oymei mersinayhu. Fellas, outside, a lot of you this time. We have a rule: ein shvuah halal shvuah. If you have an existing shvuah, another shvuah can't impact upon it. Good. We are mushba v'oymei mersinay not to eat nevelish treifus kosh mamasham. So if you make a shvuah not to eat and you eat that, the shvuah wasn't chal on that, right? So why should you be chayiv? Why should you be chayiv? Again, how can you be chayiv a chiyav shvuah? Again, we're leading up to the question of chatzi shir, right? But how can you be chayiv for a chiyav shvuah for something that there is no shvuah? Since I already swore by Har Sinai not to eat this stuff, I had a Kabbalah Satira, ain't shvuah chalal shvuah. So how in the world can you be chayiv for what? For eating shkatz and batim? Okay, so says the Gemara, there's something called an issa kailul, guys. In the sugi of issa chalal issa, if ain't issa chalal issa, there's a concept of issa kailul. When you make a shvuah that you won't eat, what are you saying? You won't eat what? Anything. Good. Foods that is the shvuah chal on chasidish shchita? Is the shvuah chal on a shtik hishke? Yeah, it's chal, right? Memela, since it's chal on that, it's kailul what? Shkotzim, uramashim, and all the other things. That's called issa kailul. In other words, when you say it's not chal, when it's not chal at all. But over here, since my shvuah is chal on kosher food, it's going to be kailul that as well. And that's the reason the Rambam says yichayev. Again, we didn't get to Akashi yet. There's a idea called issa chalal issa, and there's an issa kailul. So the issa kailul over here, Ravinaba. Amay chayev mushbu sinayu Rabu Shmuel Rabbi Yochanan. We have the three of the biggest hitters in the history of Gemara. Rabu Shmuel Rabbi Yochanan. The Amri bekoil devarim mutarim. You included devarim that are muta im devarim asurim, and therefore it's chal. Good. Okay. No kasha yet. No kasha on Reish Lakish yet. For Reish Lakish Amar, iya temaitza, you only find it el memafish chatzi shir v'alibid rabbanon oy bistam v'alibid Rabbi Akiva. The ama adam oiser atzmai b'chol shehu, that a person could go ahead and asim b'chol shehu. According to the Chachamim, if you say openly chatzi shir, according to Rabbi Akiva, even if you don't say chatzi shir, it means chatzi shir. Just saying stam I won't eat is included even the shvuah chalan a little bit. So the question is, how if it's only the Rabbanon, right? If it's only the Rabbanon over here, so how can you say chatzi shir should be chal? You should be chal to make a shvuah. You have to be a carbon. If chatzi shir is only asa d'Rabbanon, how can it make you bring a chiv d'oraisa, a carbon d'oraisa, according to Reish Lakish? That's the kasha. Reish Lakish just said the shvuah works, How does it work? Because you said chatzi share, or you didn't say, or you said stam and it meant chatzi share. That's a whole different machlokes. The bottom line is, how in the world can you be chayiv to bring a carbon daraisa in the Beis Hamikdash based on a shvua that's the Rabbanan? I didn't do anything wrong. It's mutter daraisa. Got it? It's a powerful question. It's a powerful question.
My shvua at Har Sinai was the kaim all the divrei chacham.
Okay, so Rashi brings that every dirabanan there's a lav of leis sasar. Rashi brings in every dirabanan there's a lav of avlinia carbon. If you look at the end of Rashi, about five lines down, parallel in the Gemara, the chatzi share asad rabbanon heichi muki lo lahad the tani chayev boichel chatzi share. Right? Afalav mushba. You even mushba on that mishum lav leis sasar. So how would it help? In other words, how would it help? Because even the Rabbanan, there's no. Rashi learns a very sophisticated pshat. Rashi says it's still einis chalalissa. Why? Because every the Rabbanan has a deraisa aspect. So you're mush to keep the words of the Rabbanan. Okay, be that as it may, Yankel. You got it? Okay. So now, how can you be chayiv? Bottom line, you should be chayiv. Either because it's the Rabbanan or because mush Sinai. Either way, you should be chayiv. Good. V'chi guys, we're going to say a teretz now, and usually, fellas, when you say v'chi tema, it's a havamina and you throw it out. Here, the v'chi tema is going to remain. Got it, guys? This v'chi tema is going to remain. V'chi tema kiven the islay hetem in atayra kachayel carbon shvua. Since there is a hetem in atayra for chatzi shir, it is chal for hatanan. Now, next hakdama, next piece of idea. Shvuas ha'edis. According to Reish Lakish.
It's not military. It's number one.
Again, how can we're asking? According to Reish Lakish, how can we pshat in Mishnah and say that it's the Rabbanan? When you see over here that it can bring a shvua, you can bring a carbon. That's the kasha, like Reish Lakish. Okay, good. So now. You have shvuas ha'edis. What's that? If you know edis in somebody, right, and you don't want to testify, we can make you make a shvua that you don't know that's testimony, right? And if you swear falsely, you got to bring carbon. It's shvuas ha'edis. It's one of the three shvuas that are derived in the Torah. Baruch's not here. He would get the other two. Gedenks us. 100 times, guys. This is the first time for you guys. Okay, you're going to get it. I'm going to say over the next few years. There are three shvuas midaraisa: shvuas ha'edis, shvuas hashayimrim, and shvuas moedim v'miktzas. Those are the only three that midaraisa you have to make. Shvuas ha'edis, shvuas hashayimrim. If you became a shaymer, and the guy says, "Where's my thing?" You have to swear that it's stolen. You can swear it's you weren't shaleach yad, you weren't pesheya, and then we have shvuas moedim v'miktzas. If you get to Bab Mitzia, we get shvuas moedim v'miktzas. Okay, anyway, those are the three. So now, Vatanan, if you're going to tell me that since it's chal, since there's a hetem in a Torah, it's chal, and forget about this, the Rabbanon, Vatanan, Shvuas ha'edis ein leheges ela b'ro'yin leheyed. Shvuas ha'edis is only a person who can testify. Va'avinam ba lemutei mai, who can't testify? In other words, who would not be required to say Shvuas ha'edis? Rav Papa says lemutei melech. Guys, melech can't testify. So since he can't testify, you can't swear. A dice player. Now, a dice player is asa. The Gemara gives two reasons. One, asmachta loikanya, and you put your money on the table, you think you're going to win. No one's throwing out his money for nothing, so it's a shtickle like a zela. Or because he's not being oisik, b'yeshuva shalaylam, he's being oisik in things that are not bringing tranquility and goodwill to the world. Those are the two reasons. Now, for Besachik Bekuvya Midaraisa, Michsichazi, Besachik Bekuvya Midaraisa is fine. It's only us the Rabbanon. Gazelle is only if you take it in your hand. For Rabbanon, Had the Paslu. It's the Rabbanon Pasal, Veloika Chayla La Shvua. It's not Chal Shvua. So now, you see that what? Once there's a Chiev, right? Once there's a Chiev Shvua, once there's a Chiev Daraisa, right? Then the Rabbanon what's the kasha? So over here, just like by Shvuas Eidus over here, the Rabbanan stops him from not going ahead and swearing. So too, by Chatzi Shir, he should not be chal. The Shvuah should be chal, right? Just like we don't let this guy swear, the Shvuah should also not be chal if it's only what the Rabbanan. So the Gemara answers, shiny hasam, it's different. So the emes guys, we're saying the answer is the Gemara's matar. It's really Shvuas ve'emes is chal on the Rabbanan. It is chal the Rabbanan. It is chal on the Rabbanan. Meaning, since it's the Raisa, it's chal, and the Rabbanan is not going to stop it. Why does it stop it by Mesachik Mekuvya? Is not that it doesn't stop. We don't believe the guy. We don't believe him. You can't make him swear. He's not a trustworthy guy. It's not like a din. He can't. It's not like he's Yitzim in a cloud. What is Eidos? It's testimony. Can a woman? I'll give you an example. A woman is believed. She can't testify. She's a woman, correct? Woman apostle Eidos. A cotton is believed. He can't testify, right? We don't believe the guy. So it's not Pshat over here that he can't swear because of the Rabbanan Dekadin. So therefore, there's no shvua because of the Rabbanan Dekadin. Be'emes, there is a shvua. Why is there a shvua? Because it's the Raisa, and the Rabbanan doesn't stop it. So be'emes, you have a teretz to Reish Lakish. Let's go through the Cheshbon again. Our Mishnah says what? Yom Kippurim is asa b'achil v'shtia. Good. We said out a problem. Why do you mean asa? It's chayiv koris. And for the Gemara, chatzi shir. Chatzi shir. Fishlem, according to Rabbi Yochanan, very geshmak. According to Rabbi Reish Lakish, Ma'ikal Neymar, asa d'Rabbanan, asa t'id Rabbanan. Fred Gemara, if it's asa d'Rabbanan chatzi shir, why in the world is the shvua chal on it? Right? It's the why is the shvua according to Reish Lakish? According to Reish Lakish, if it's why is chatzi shir chal? It should not be chal. Why? 1 second. You should be chal. We said we answered up. What did we say? We had a problem. So Reish Lakish answered no. You find it by chatzi shir that since it's chatzi shir, the shvua is chal. Why should the shvua be chal? It's us the Rabbanan. So well, maybe midaraisa it's chal. And if the Gemara you talk right, it's a good teretz. We have a kasha on that, but it's a good teretz. That's the final teretz. Since the raisa it's chal, therefore it works. It's the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan doesn't stop it. By Shvuas Eidus, the Rabbanan does stop it. No, by Shvuas Eidus, it's not that the Rabbanan stops it. It's the fact we don't believe the guy. So now it's good. Okay, says the Gemara. Let's just finish that little. I didn't finish that point. Says the Gemara. Shani Hasan the Makra im lo yagid. If he doesn't testify. Then he brings the carbon if he swears falsely. And this guy's not a baragada. Klal. Okay, very good. So that's the first teretz, guys. We the first teretz asa chatzi shir Rabbanan deraisa both Reish Lakish Rabbi Yochanan work out. Yes, the kasha worked it out. Now we're going to say what are you talking about? Fred the Gemara. Now this is the kasha fight Mishnah. It doesn't begin. Says the Gemara v'chal heichid etani einish karis loy tani asar. Any place where there's an einish karis, you never learn asar. I'll show you. In other words, it's not a kasha. I'll show you a place where you say the lashon of asur, and there is a chi of karis, right? Ella, it says the Gemara, the Tani Tanya, Afa Pisha Amru, Asa Bekulon. Even though what? Even though we said that Asa Bekulon, what's it speaking about? 1 second. We only said the chi of karis on what? On achil v'shtia. V'oisem malacha bilvad. So guys, here's pshat. When they said hachikama kashamru asa. So in other words, in the Mishnah, it says Asr. The Asr is not going on the Karis part. It's going on the part that you're not chayav Karis for. It's going on the part you're not chayiv kares for. It's going on the sicha, on the rechitza, on the tashmish, on the things that you're not chayiv kares for. That's what it's going on. Rashi says, so says the Gemara, Ibay Sema, we don't say Ibay Sema, Ashaira, Mishum Rechitza V'Sicha, the Leka Karis, Tana Asa. He left that Tasha Shemita. Rechitza V'Sicha, the Leka Einish Karis, Asa. So the other teretz, guys, look back in the Mishnah. Yom Kippurim, Asa B'Achil V'Shtia, Rechitza V'Sicha, said that Issa, the Lashon of Issa, is going right on, not on eating and not on drinking. It's going on washing and anointing. So now the Gemara, go back to the Gemara now. And Hachi Kama, here's where you read the Gemara. Kishu Amru Asa, when they said Asa, like Amru Ella, B'Kechatzi Shir. Abel Kishir, Einish Karis. But a Shir is Einish Karis. V'Afal Pisha Einish Karis, Einish Karis, Ella Eichel V'Shaisa, V'Oisem Malacha B'Vad. Okay, so that's one teretz. B'Yibay Seima, a third teretz. Kikutani Asa Ashaira. It's going on. Ashaira is going on the rest. The Tani Rabbi Rav Yosef. B'shasif the Rav. Minayin liyam kippur she'asa b'chitza b'sicha b'nisa sandal. B'tashish mamita tamalema Shabbos and Shvus. Right, that's by Inoi. It says Shabbos and Shvus lashon of Inoi by there, and therefore you ma'ani yourself and melo you be yites. Okay, so we have basically two teretzim. One teretz chatzi shir, and the Isra is going on chatzi shir, and the other one the Isra is going on b'chitza b'sicha and the Yosesan. And yeah. Gufa, going back over to Gemara, Chatzi Shir. Gufa, Chatzi Shir, Rabbi Yochanan Ma'asim in HaTorah, Reish Lakish Amamotim in HaTorah. Rabbi Yochanan Ma'asim in HaTorah, Kivin the Chazi Litztarufei, Isura Ka'achal. Since the possibility exists for doing an Isra, Isura Ka'achal, meaning, fellas, here's the Torah. When he eats, he's eating Isra. It's not pshat when he eats that it's complete. Right now he's eating Issa, because when he eats Issa later on, we're going to say Lemafreya, he was chayiv. Again, remember, you have to eat in the K'vei Achilas Pras. Remember, Hamatzah Share, you have to eat in the time period of 3 to 9 minutes. So that completes the Issa, but the Issa is beginning now. So again, it's Chazil, it's Tarufe to go ahead and be mitzaref to something. And therefore, what it's Asa Daraisa. It's very interesting. He brings a Sfara. We're going to see he brings a pasuk also. Why do you need a pasuk? There's a Sfara. So he says, Chazil, it's Tarufe. Reish Lakish Amamutim in HaTorah. Achila Amrachmana, Veleka. Again, this Torah says eating. Eating is what is Kazayas, or in Yom Kippur, Kaisevis, but not what? That's not eating. Veleka. Eis Rabbi Yochanan says Yechayev. Reish Lakish says Yemuta. Ainli Ela Kol Sheyeshnei Ba'inish, Sheyeshnei Ba'azhara. Says Rashi, Gabi Chelev Koi. It's going on the issue of Chelev. The Ein Shoiv as a Rasai Smuchim Zelazeh, the Einish, and the warning is next to each other. It says, Kol chaylev shar v'kesev v'eiz. All the chaylev of a shar, kesev, or an eiz, you should eat it. Hariyasara, you're warned. The samach like 2 pesukim later, it says, Ki kol oichel chaylev in a behema. Anyone eats it, v'nichvas nefesh, right? He gets karis. So good. So therefore, in fact, with chatas chaylev, that is a karis, is we call chatas chaylev. Now, any yesh, kol sheyeshne ba'oinish, yeshne be'azhara. Good? Let's develop. In other words, anyone who's going to get karis is being warned is pashav kol chelev. Now, koi or kfi, depending which, if you're from art school or from yeshiva, art school says koi. In yeshiva we say kfi. Now, kfi, we don't know what it is, guys. It's 3 possibilities. It's a suffix behema, it's a suffix chaya, or it's a beri b'fnei atzma. My nafkamin in halacha. 2 nafkaminas. One, le'inyan kisei hadam. The hema does not require kisei hadam, only oifos and chayos. So if the kfi is a chaya, it's going to require kisei hadam. More importantly, the chelev of a chaya is mutter. You can eat the chelev of a deer. The chelev is, guys, the reason we don't eat chelev is that's the imurim that goes to Hashem. The parts that go to Hashem are the imurim. Since you can't bring a chaya on the mizbeach, the chelev is mutter. You hear this? In other words, you can't bring a deer as a carbon. So memela, since you can't bring a deer as a carbon, there's no imurim. So it's important for us to be able to go ahead and place in some type of taxonomy. How's that for a word? Place in some type of taxonomy what exactly this is. From this, we're going to see the kasha. Okay, so again, this Gemara is intense because again, there's a lot of ideas you have to know to get to the kashas. Says the Gemara. So kol sheyeshnei ba'einish, anyone who gets karis yeshnei b'ashara. Kfi v'chatzi shir hoyel ve'einish. Since it's not in the einish yachal ein in mishara, I might think you're not warned that in other words that you could eat it. Tamalayma kol chelev. Okay, it says kol chelev. So good kasha, guys. According to this, why do we need a svara chazir starufi as a pasuk? Okay, what's Rabbi Yochanan doing right now? I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so in other words, we have a pasuk that tells us that chatzi shir is asa, don't we? Kol chelev, even any chatzi shir is asa. Yeah. So what does Reish Lakish say? Do rabbanon midarbanon across machta ba'alma. It's only rabbinical in nature, and the Chachamim found a spot to go Edward and Misanachan. Okay, so now you have machloikis between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Good. If I'd ask you what's the reason for Rabbi Yochanan, you said a svara chazi l'tztarufe, because once you eat it, it's chazi to mitzaref to another one. Now he's bringing a pasuk that says kol chelev. So why does he need a svara for? You have a pasuk. Says the top Taisvis, kivin the chazi l'tztarufe isura ka'achol temali. Why didn't you bring the reason like we just mentioned later on? The Chol Chelev, the Rabbis Chatzi Shir, the Rabbi Yochanan Yodalai he Brisa, the Besamach Kamaisav Mina. Rabbi Yochanan knew the Brisa. You can't give a terrorist that you know the Brisa because he goofa asked it. He's asking from this Brisa. Meisaveh Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish from this Brisa, so clearly he knew the Brisa. Why does it say in the Brisa? From the pasuk called Chelev, the Chatzi Shir is Asa. Fred the Gemara. So why do you need the svara of Chazil Itztarufe if you have a pasuk of Kol Chelev? And for Toisas Shleima the Hachi Yitzrich Rabbi Yochanan the Fushei Taima. Here's the reason. Mishlam the Imikra. If you had just the pasuk the Kol Chelev, have Amina Ikakra Lekfi. I would say the Ikka pasuk comes to tell me that animal Itzrich. For Chatzi Shir Medabonon Vasmucha Akra. I will hash to come a time of the Chazil Itztarufe. Svaruhu may I time of the drasha gemurihi l'chatzi shir. It tells us give a beautiful teretz, guys. If I just would have the pasuk, I would say the main pasuk comes to teach me the halacha by the kfi, by this animal which we're not exactly sure about. But by chatzi shir, I'd say it's the rabbanon. So therefore, but once you said the svar of chazil starufe, then you know it's the raisa. Now chazil starufe makes the kol chelef the raisa not only on the koi but going also on the chatzi shir. Okay, very good. Very good, man. Very good. I understand it. Okay, again, what do we have so far? We had so far this evening. We had Machloikis, Reish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says Chatzi Shir is the Raisa. Rabbi Reish Lakish says it's the Rabbana. We said they both had the Pshat in the Mishnah, and the Mishnah said Yom Kippur and Asa B'Chil V'Shti. It's going on Chatzi Shir. And then we asked questions from Shuas Eidus, and we asked questions from Shuas Bito and Reish Lakish, and he held sort very good. He said that what? When is it? It's Shuas Chal on a Deraisa, even though it's the Rabbanan there, it's Chal on a Deraisa. Okay. Now we're saying, what about? You're saying about a koi. You see, by koi you need a pasuk to be marba, a koi and chatzi shir. If chatzi shir is the Rabbanan, why you have a pasuk saying it's the Raisa? And for Reish Lakish, I'll tell you why. It's the Rabbanan, and the Rabbanan found a smach to their words. That's what we did so far. Okay. Esvei Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish ainly okay. Hachinam mistabra 4 lines on the bottom. These are kedait with the Raisa. Koi sveikahu. It's the krola suya sveika. Guys, what? How is I magdam? What is a kfi? What is it? Suffix what? We don't know if it's what. A what? Yeah. Does Hashem know what it is? Do you need a pasuk to go ahead and be marba or suffix? Bishlei tell me it's the Rabbanan in nature and asmachta. Makes a lot of sense. But according to you, Rabbi Yochanan, it's the Raisa. Klape Shmaya, there's no suffix. You don't need a pasuk to marba suffix. Says Rashi, guys. Koishu suffix vein by karis v'chatzi shir sheina ba'einish. Right? I mean, ayin shu basara tamad leima kol chelev. So the Gemara it says on the Yom Beis actually, right? Bitmiya atu kami shmaya sveiku. No suffix in shemayim. And for the Gemara, no imishum halay area. Ksavri Yom Beis koi beria b'fnei atzmahi. A koi is taka beria b'fnei atzmai. In other words, there's certain creatures that we anishtahi and nishtaher ken zayin. They're not this and that. For example, guys, a tumtum. What's a tumtum? It's either a man or a woman. It's either male or a female. We don't know because it's covered up. Yeah? An androgynous has both simanim. It has the simanim of an akeva and the simanim of a zacha. So there is an opinion that it's a barrier b'fnei atzma. It's a different, it's not, it has no pride. Nothing, zero. It's not, it's right. That's it's in the there. Okay. The Elite Mahachi, if you don't see it's a barrier b'fnei atzma, right? Hadam Rav Idi Barovin, af kol lasuya koi, the lashon af kol that it says what by blood. Comes to go, that's speaking here by blood. This is of blood. Koi sveiku, it's the color we sveika. Ela beria shiny says the man beria shiny. Achnami beria shiny. So there is different. No, it's just like by blood it must be different. So to here it's different. So in other words, Rabbi Yochanan retorts to Reish Lakish. No, it's the Raisa, and it's we need a pasuk because it's a beria from the atzma, not that it's a suffix. Tanabanan. Okay, now we get guys. That's the first part of the shir. Chatzi shir. Okay, now we get to the nuyim. The Inuyim, where's the source for the Inuyim? Remember, 2 in Parshas Achrimos and 3 in Parshas Emor. Tanu es nafshe sechem. This is from Achrimos. It says on the 10th day of the 7th month, you should pain your nefesh. Yachol, you know what pain is? Yeshiv b'chama, go sit in the sun. Or yibitzina, go sit in the cold. Maybe that's Kadeshe Yitztar. Since we're speaking about pain, so go make yourself hot, go make yourself cold. Talmud Leimar, it says v'chol melacha leisasu, and the pasuk says all melacha you shouldn't do on Yom Kippur. Ma melacha sheva al taisei, just like melacha is sit and don't do. Af inui nefesh, so too when it says tanu es nafshe seichem is sheva al tasei. So guys, to get up and go into the sun, to get up and go in the cold is getting up and doing something. To refrain from eating is sheva al taisei. So the dugma. To what? To not doing malacha would touch up inui. What's inui? Similar to not doing malacha. And just like doing malacha is sit and don't do anything, the inui is also sit and don't do anything. Sit and don't eat. To go in the sun, to go in the cold, you're getting up and doing. Since you're sitting in the sun, maybe where you're sitting in the sun, the chamim lay, it's heating you up. You don't say to him, go get up and go to the shade. You're sitting in the shade, the curry clay is cold. In other words, that's sheval taseh. In other words, if you're in a state of cold or state of hot, stay in that state. So if your whole raya to inui is sheval taseh, I can say, guess what? If you're in the cold, okay, problem is, guys, that's not everyone. Fellas, how could you possibly think it's speaking about sitting in the sun, meaning if you're in the sun and you're hot, or you're sitting in cold, stay there. That means everyone in Klal Yisrael would have to be sitting in the sun before Yontif, sitting in the cold before Yontif. No, it's got to be a universal din, right? So everyone can't eat, right? It's universal. But to say some guys, in other words, the only hechetimsa that you'd have of going ahead and saying that Inui is being hot or cold is if he was in a metzias of hot and cold before Yontif began. And not everyone's in the metzias. So Mamela, it makes no sense to say that's pshat. So it must be what Inui nefesh means eating. That's one. Tanya Idach, another brisa. It says Tanu es nosher sechem. Yachol yeshev b'chama v'tzinu b'tztar tamalayma. Another reason. V'chol malacha leisasu. Ma malacha rav shechayav malav b'makam achar. Af inui nefesh shechayav malav b'makam achar. Just like malacha is yichayiv in another place, so too what? So too it has to be yichayiv in another place. Now, what inui is chayiv in another place? What is that? The ezeh. Where's that? Zeh pigel v'naiser. If I go ahead, what? And I eat pigel v'naiser, I'm chayiv karis. No, just like guys, if you do malacha, you chayiv karis, right? So the inui also has to be chayiv karis. When you sit in the sun, or if you don't sit in the sun, you chayiv karis? No. Sit in the cold, not in the cold. Chayiv karis? No. Eating chayiv karis? Maybe. Which other place you chayiv karis, guys? If you eat pigel or nicer. Just to be nicer, left that overnight. Pigel, you had machshavim, the avodah, one of the avodas, right? The avodas in the shchita. Shchita, Kabbalah, Halacha, Srika, Chutz L'Zman. That you can Chutz L'Zman was Srikas. So now, since that's another tzushtel to show why it can't be sitting in the sun, because just like malacha carries with a chiyuv karis, so to the eating has to be somewhere else where be a chiyuv karis, and therefore the eat refrain from that. Abi pigel v'noisa shem bekaris loy obvious at tevel. I might think tevel is if it's not upgeshade, if it's you didn't think of trumas semaisa, it's a chi of misa b'dei shemayim, but not karis. Shein bekaris, and I might think that what that therefore you could you don't Yom Kippur you be part of Tamalay Matanu. It says it twice again in Chavtes and Lamed Aleph to be marba your nefesh, to be marba the even tevel. Says the Gemara, Abi tevel shu b'misa v'lo Abi es hanavela shein b'misa. It's only a lav. Tamalay it says Tanu v'nisem es nafshe sechem riba. Again we have 5 to play with. Abi es hanavela shu b'lav v'lo Abi es achulin shein b'lav. Tamalay Tanu v'nisem es nafshe sechem riba. Abi chulin shein b'kum achol v'lo Abi es hatruma she become achol. Tamalay Tanu v'nisem es nafshe sechem riba. Obvious that Truma Shein Bechol Blaise Siru Obvious Hakadoshim there's Nisu Shem Blaise Siru Tamalay Matanu V'Nisim Neshel Sechem Riba. The Nafsh if you have a question on all of these things, Hariyim it says V'Avarti Es Nefesh. The pasuk says V'Chol Nefesh Asher Tasu Kamalacha Betzam Yom Hazeh V'Avarti Es Nefesh He. The lashon of Avarti. So now, again, Inu Shehi Avedis Nefesh. Inu has to be something that causes your nefesh to be avad, which is not eating. Mashenkin sitting in the sun. Right, or cold is not going to be mavid nefesh. He says ze'achila v'shtia. Now, anytime it says v'nafsh chaloima means if there's a question, right? In other words, we did this. We had this once before the Masechta. V'nafsh chaloima, and if you have a question, so have a pasuk. So in other words, we saw a chiluk. It has to be eating, similar to karis, malachas karis, eating karis. So therefore, it means eating. Okay, so now it says that if you have a kasha on that, pasuk says v'vatiyas nefesh. What's that kasha? The nashchalon v'chitem my nashchalomer the chitem about royos kamishtoikra. The ina is speaking about here is a royos in refraining from tashmish. How you amarti v'avarti nefesh ina sheish b'avedis nefesh. He says achilishtia. In other words, it says tanos nafshasechem, guys, but not necessarily that what it's speaking about eating. I think it's speaking about something that is tashmish royos. Therefore, it says what? No, it means v'avarti nefesh to touch up. It means eating. The Rabbi Shmuel Tana, the Yeshiva Rabbi Shmuel learns Nema kan inui. It says over here inui. The Nema lahalon it says vaita by the mon. It says inui. Malahalon by the mon inui ra'avon is eating is refrain from being hungry. Avkan inui ra'avon. So too over here. By Lavan says to Yaakov in Tanes benoisai, if you'll pay my daughters donin, so which means they'll refrain from tashmish. You marry somebody else. So donin inu mirabim inu derabim. Donin inu derabim inu lachem. We'll learn that inu derabim. The Inu of Yom Kippur from the Inu of the Mon, rather than the Inu of Yachid, which was Yaakov Avinu. Furthermore, V'nelef Inu de Mitzrayim, the Chsiv Ayarsa Inu V'aminu Zeh Pishus Derech Eretz. So the that's Tashmish. So let's learn out that the Inu here is Tashmish from Mitzrayim because it's the Rabbim. Ela Donin Inu B'dei Shemayim, Inu B'dei Shemayim. When Donin Inu B'dei Shemayim, Inu B'dei Adam. That's done Inu B'dei Shemayim, Inu B'dei Shemayim. Both the Mon came from Shemayim and the Isser of what to eat came from Shemayim as opposed to what the Mitzrayim. Just was speaking about Mon. I guess we'll stop over here because really we're going to go into the whole sugya of Mon, the whole din of Mon, and different things. So a whole bunch of two blot of really nice agarika. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow or sometime. Right, Bez Hashem.
Why you-
Thank you.
I'll try to get it on in the morning.